UConn women's basketball is heading into the final stretch of what could be another very promising season. Although last year's perfect season of going undefeated to win the national championship can't be topped on paper, the end result can still be the same. The Huskies are seeking their 10th national championship, and with the loss of a couple key players from last year's historic team, the torch has been passed on to leaders like Breanna Stewart. Stewart was named the Americans' preseason player of the year and has been living up to the preseason honors.
Well, to be named preseason player of the year, it's definitely an honor, to be looked at as that type of person in this conference. And, you take it all in stride, but at the same time, it's preseason. So it doesn't mean a whole lot unless you actually fulfill it.
In order for Breanna to fulfill her hopes for this season, she knows she has to keep improving her game.
Well, going into this off-season, the thing that I really wanted to get better at was being more comfortable with the ball on the perimeter. Being comfortable with dribbling it, that kind of thing, being able to take my defender one-on-one, or even coming off of ball screens.
Things that Breanna has to do are going to be hard to do. She wants to get bigger, she wants to get stronger, she wants to be able to do the things that she struggles with. The only problem is her body type not going to allow her to get that much bigger, that much stronger. So she's got to get smarter all the time. And that's something that we talk about and work on every day. She's become better at handling the ball, and that's become evident watching her in practice a little bit. But every great player has to find little things that they want to get better at. And every day something will come up that reminds her, oh boy, I got to work on that. And luckily for her, she loves the game and she'll work at it.
Working on her own game is only one piece of the puzzle. Breanna knows that in order to hold that trophy above her head in Tampa this season, she needs to be that leader on and off the court.
Well, I think obviously we lost Bria and Steph last year, and those were huge leaders, but the fact that, we have a lot of upperclassmen with a lot of experience with winning national championships and having success, and I think that, the biggest thing is just being a leader, and I think that's what I want to do more on this team.
The upperclassmen do have experience winning national championships, in fact, 2 of them, and they'll look to make it 3 in a row in March.
Well, I think our mindset going into this season is, last year was great, but, this year it's a new year, it's a new team, so you can't, things have to change. There's new players, new roles, that kind of thing, so you can't, compare it to last year's team. But at the same time, at Connecticut, our goal every year is a national championship, and that's what we're going to try to work for day in and day out.
The Huskies know that working day in and day out to make the Final Four is definitely worth it, because the memory of being a champion never fades.
I think looking back on winning a national championship, it's one of the best feelings you could ever have. Just the kind of feeling of accomplishment that you have after working so hard all season, and then finally reaching your goals, and not only doing that but going undefeated like we did last year.
There are a few players on the team that don't have memories of winning a national championship, and those of course are the freshmen. Newcomers like Kia Nurse and Gabby Williams have already made an impact on this UConn team, but from experience, Breanna knows how much you learn about yourself that first year.
I think the biggest obstacle I've had to overcome as a player was, when I was a freshman, realizing that, me thinking I'm working hard was not actually working as hard as I possibly could. And, the coaches helped make me realize that. And once I was able to, once I step on the court, I'm working as hard as I possibly can and getting better at something. Things started, going up from there.
I think she's got a better sense of what she can do and what she can't do, because I think when you come in as a really talented freshman, you're not quite sure. Everybody's telling you how good you are, but you think you're good, but you're not sure because some of the things you try to do in practice don't necessarily go so well. So I think over a period of time, and then the success that she's had, especially in the NCAA tournament, both years, she's a lot more confident, a lot more aware of her surroundings, where she is on the floor. And I think that's a big part of anybody's success, is how confident they are. So I just think she was confident coming in, but her confidence has just grown tremendously.
Breanna's confidence in herself and this team has carried over from last season. She knows it's a new season, but has no doubt that the expectations are anything short of last year's accomplishments.
Well, I think, what people need to know about this year's team is that we have new faces, but at the same time, our goal is still the same, and, we're going to work as hard as we've been working, or as hard as any other UConn team has worked when they go through this program. We're so competitive in everything we do, and that's the best part about basketball, is the competitive nature that you have, and, we win, so that's nice too.
The Huskies will look to keep the W's coming as they close out the regular season and start getting ready for their NCAA tournament run. UConn's only loss came to Stanford back in the beginning of the season, but they rebounded with a notable win over Notre Dame, and then most recently a win over then #1 South Carolina. The 11 other American teams have high hopes of a postseason themselves, and the American Championship Tournament will be extremely vital with an automatic NCAA tournament bid on the line.